in this vision, all of a sudden, I saw myself walking with the angel of the Lord. And we saw this huge number of Christians, not worldly people, huge number of Christians going to hell. And the angel I was walking with said, let's join them. And I told the angel, no, I don't want to go to hell. Why should we join them? He said, no, we are not going to hell, but I want you to hear and see what is going on. So then when the angel said that, all of a sudden we were so close to this group of Christians that were going to hell. And I saw these Christians telling the angel of the Lord that was leading them to hell that we were not adulterers, we were not fornicators, so why are we going to hell? And the angel said to them, yes, you were not fornicators, yes, you were not adulterers, but you did not love one another as the Lord commanded you to love. You did not forgive one another. You were liars. You did not help people when you could have helped them. You did not live the Christ impacted life. And the angel said to them, the things that mattered to Christianity, the things that mattered to the kingdom of heaven was not important to you. To you people, all you were thinking about was money, marriage, prosperity, and how you can succeed in your world, forgetting that success in your world is not success here in heaven. So this is the reason why you guys are going to hell. You did not love one another as the Lord commanded you. You lived in unforgiveness. You didn't help people when it lied within your power to help them. You did not live the Christ impacted life that Christ wanted you to. So I told the angel I was working with, I said, please help me never to forget these words. And the angel said, you will not forget them because many people will have to hear them from you. And I said, so all these Christians are going to hell? Say yes. Then all of a sudden we left that part, and the angel said, I want to show you the works of Satan against the end time church. And the angel said something to me that broke my heart. The angel said that Satan is working against the church greatly, but his greatest weapon today, Satan's greatest weapon against the church is the church. And I said, what do you mean by his greatest weapon against the church is the church? And the angel explained and said, Satan is using the church against the church. And I said, how? And the angel said, why is it that many Christians today in the church are fighting one another? You go to churches and pastors are against pastors, choristers are against choristers, church members are against church members. We are not in talking terms, we are arguing, we are fighting. And the angel said that Satan will destroy the church with the church. And all of a sudden I began to cry because I realized that these are things that in one way or the other, me myself have been part of it. And the angel said that in this end time, a lot of Christians will be destroyed by fellow Christians. Satan is using Christians against Christians, destroying a lot of churches today. A lot of churches are being destroyed. And Satan is not using anything but Christians against Christians. I began to weep badly, and the angel said, don't cry because you have not seen anything yet. So we moved on, and the angel showed a very huge church. And in this church, I began to see Christians in the church that were arguing and fighting one another. The Christians were arguing, they were fighting one another. 90% of the people in the church were not in love. We were not living like the way the Lord wanted us to live. So the angel said, I want to show you something else. So when the angel said he wanted to show me something else, all of a sudden I began to see Christian marriages, Christian friendships, Christian relationships, kind of Christian involvement. Then I saw Christians arguing and fighting, and anytime they were arguing and fighting, I saw demons behind the Christians, and the demons were telling the Christians, tell this to the person, it will pain him, it will pain her, say this, say that. And anytime the demons told the Christians to say something, they said it as the demons told them. And the angel of the Lord said to me, anytime Christians are fighting and they are arguing, they think that they are doing it of themselves, but little did they know that they are under the influence of demons. And he said, so all our arguments, all our fights, all our misunderstanding, they are all influence of demons. And the angel said, yes, of course, they are all influence of demons. And I said to the angel, but I thought we are just angry and we are talking. He said, no, demons influence our anger, they influence the things we say. And the angel said to me, Satan don't want the church to live in peace. And his major focus now is to destroy every level of relationship that God is involved. I saw pastors against pastors. I saw church members against, and all of them were demonic influence. But the unfortunate thing was that these Christians thought that we were doing it on our own. We thought, but the angel said, no. All the things we say in our anger, all the things we say in our argument, in our misunderstanding, all are demonic influences. And Satan is using fellow Christians to cause us pain, to destroy marriages, to destroy churches, to destroy a lot of Christian relationships. And he said, because Satan doesn't have the power to curse the Christian, what Satan does is that he influences the Christian to say negative things about fellow Christians, and then the moment we speak them, it is activated, and it begins to work. And the angel said to me, Satan is working a lot with Christians. And the reason why all these things are going on is because the church today is not spiritual. We are not spiritual. We are not thinking about spirituality. And I was crying like a baby, knowing that there are times I've also gotten angry and I've said certain things to people, not knowing that we were all under the influence of demons. And the angel said, I want to show you something else. And the moment the angel said, I want to show you something else, this time round we were in heaven. And when we entered into heaven, I saw a lot of Christians who had made it to heaven. And these Christians were apologizing to one another. And some of them were crying. They went to fellow brothers who they were living with in the church and the communities, and they were apologizing. I'm sorry for this thing I did to you. I'm sorry for this thing. And some of them were crying bitterly. I'm sorry. And it is not that, and what they were saying is that it is not that I didn't know what I was doing was wrong. I knew what I was doing to you was wrong, but the shame associated to it, if I had accepted my fault, the disgrace it was going to bring to me if I had accepted my fault. And this is why I didn't want to accept my fault. This is why I wanted to prove that I was right, but in my heart I knew I was wrong. And the Christians were apologizing and saying some of these things, and I saw great pastors, great men of God apologizing to one another, saying that, oh, this message I was preaching, it was because of you I was preaching it. This thing I was doing it because of you. I'm so sorry. Men of God were apologizing, Christians were apologizing, and were crying. Then, all of a sudden, I saw the angel said to me, the Lord would like to see you. And when the angel said, the Lord would like to see you, all of a sudden we were in the presence of the Lord. And I said, Lord, I was not expecting to see you. And he said, yes, I know. I brought you here for a reason. There is something I want you to know. Then the Lord showed me a very beautiful crown. There were many beautiful crowns and great thrones. These thrones, I've never seen anything like that before. And I said, Lord, is that gold? And the Lord said, no, it's not gold. How can it be gold? Have you not realized where you are walking? So the moment the Lord said, have you not realized where you are walking? I looked to the ground and I saw gold all over the place. And the Lord said, how can you be walking on the gold and the one that will be on top of your head will also be gold? And the Lord said, these are more than gold. And I said to him, I said, Lord, can I have one of them? And he said, these crowns and thrones are here for people who lived and worked for me. And the Lord said, 95% of Christians who come to heaven miss this crown and these thrones. They don't get them. And that is because they did not really live for me. They were living for themselves. And the Lord said, if you want one, then you have to work for me and live for me. And I said, Lord, I want to. Can you please give me the grace to live and work for you? He said, my grace is abundant unto every Christian that want them. I want this vision to be so short and for people to have time to understand them. So this is the first part I will share with you. I will continue with it some other time. Please make time to listen to it. I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I wish everyone has seen what I have seen today. And he said, not everybody will be given the opportunity to see. I love you and God bless you. But I would like to end with something the angel told me. He said, most of Christians have become tools in the hands of Satan. And be careful, you don't become a tool in the hands of Satan. I love you. God bless you. The coming of the Lord is so near.
So, brethren, let us ask ourselves, are we living a Christ-impacted life? Are we living for Jesus? When I preach to you, I'm preaching to myself. Let us all take heed, lest we fall. We cannot run this race without Jesus' grace and mercy. Shalom.